Welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey on Thursday, December 22nd, 2011. Well, there have been big explosions throughout Baghdad this morning. Over 60 people are reported dead in sectarian violence, Sunni versus Shia. The United States has been gone for 72 hours. We'll see where things end up. Meanwhile, a little bit further to the southeast, interesting news coming out of Israel on their Army Radio 1 station, being reported by Reuters that Defense Minister Ehud Barak, who was a former prime minister, made a couple of very interesting comments. Mr. Barak recited some salient points from an interview by American Defense Secretary Leon Panetta and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey. Both of them made unusually strong statements about American willingness to use military force to deny Iran the measure of developing an atomic bomb. Barak said this change of emphasis is very important because it makes clear publicly what was already known to us privately. Iran faces a real dilemma. Panetta said that secretive Iranian nuclear programs could potentially yield a bomb within a year. That would be a red line for us. If we have to do it, we will deal with it. When he asked whether he meant military options, he said there are no options off the table. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff went further. He said, we are examining a range of options. We're satisfied that the ones that we're developing are evolving to a point that they would be executable if necessary. The general said, my biggest worry is that the Iranians will miscalculate our resolve. Any miscalculation would mean we would be in a conflict. Sometimes it's necessary to send a very clear message to people. China continues to have problems. They've settled one strife storm situation with one of the villages that was revolting by brokering a deal. Meanwhile, they're attacking villagers in the other town, the town of Haimen in Guangdong, with 120,000 people. This morning is being hit by police with tear gas. 80 miles away in Wuhan, the authorities did in fact solve the problem. Gross premiums in the London market have increased to record levels, 50.95 billion US, equivalent to 2.5% of Britain's GDP. They've also contributed 1.9% to the government's tax coffers, about 10.5 billion pounds. Meanwhile, QBE in Australia has announced that it's purchased Optima Insurance Group in Puerto Rico. The group produces $100 million in gross premium. An oil spill by Royal Dutch Shell is likely to be the worst to hit Nigeria in about 10 years. Over 1.4 million barrels of oil were dumped, 1.6 million barrels of oil were dumped in the sea off of Nigeria yesterday. Britain's economy grew a little bit more than expected. The American unemployment rate dropped down to 364,000. Some interesting statistics coming up for people looking at positive results. Meanwhile, Nissan reports that their electric car, the Leaf, had some interesting effects after the tsunami. About 24 of them were destroyed after the tsunami, but none of the cars caught fire because their batteries are encased in steel. Meanwhile, General Motors, which produces the Volt, has their battery encased in a plastic cover. Ford is building their own version, an electric car, and their battery is going to be encased in steel. It's evident that the steel casing is something that prevents more explosions. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.